Hi YouTube.
Hey YouTube friends and family, it's your boy GB Reviews, and today we are doing a quick video. This is just about steak seasoning. I have some USDA Prime and USDA Choice meat cut in front of me, and we're gonna just go through kind of simple basic steps for seasoning your meat, whether you're cooking on the grill or the stove or in the oven. You want to season your meat in a way that, if you haven't marinated, again, I'm caveating that, you want to season in a way that every aspect of your meat comes out flavorful for your guests. Here you can see that I have heavily marbled USDA prime meat. We have some lightly marbled USDA choice meat, and then again USDA choice and heavily marbled USDA prime meat. And so we are going to season these. So the first thing we're going to start off with is I've already cleaned the meat. And I am getting ready to start the searing process to sear my fat caps at the top. But the first thing I'm gonna do for this meat, and this is just because I'm using truffle oil today, I'm gonna lightly coat this with truffle oil because what I want is I want the seasoning to stick to my meat because we're gonna cook straight. We're not marinating ahead of time. You're gonna just do a light coating of truffle oil. So you can maybe do 1 or 2 drops of truffle oil because we're gonna rub it in. I'm gonna rub it all the way through, all the way around. So you're gonna have 1 or 2 drops of truffle oil. And so, and again, that's because truffle oil is actually slightly expensive. So you're just gonna take it, and I scored the meat. I just cut it, strips into it. So you're gonna just take the meat and you're gonna rub it all over with the oil. As you can see, I sliced the meat on both sides so that we want the seasoning and we want the flavor to penetrate the meat. So I'm gonna take this truffle oil and I'm rubbing it into the meat. And if any drops on your cutting board or your plate, you just wanna pick that up. You wanna make sure you rub it on the meat. And you want to kind of get that all over your meat because this is gonna help your seasonings, your salt and your pepper to stay. So we're rubbing that in the meat. We're rubbing that all over the meat. I've cut and sliced, I've scored the meat. So you want, that allows the flavor to penetrate. And then again, we're on both sides, we're rubbing that in. And if there's any truffle oil left on your board, you just want to make sure you get that on there. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna salt it. I'm using kosher salt today. It's a little bit bigger grain, and it'll come off. If you notice with the kosher salt, it's actually kind of coarse. If you, I'll put it in my hand so you can see, but it's kind of coarse. And so you just want to put that on there. We're going to rub that on the meat. You want to make sure that you get that all over the ends of the meat as well. And that's going to bring out your flavor. So even on all the sides, you want to make sure you go all the way around. You don't, a lot of times when people season their meat, they will forget to do the sides of the meat. And that is a shame because you want your flavor of your meat to be just incorporated in the whole thing. The next thing we're gonna do is black pepper. Now, you can choose to grind it out. So you could grind it out, and I would normally do that if I was doing a little bit of meat, but McCormick steak mix is a good pepper mix. And then you can just shake that out. And we're gonna again do this exact same thing we did with the salt. And I probably shouldn't have used the dump side. But we're gonna use the exact same thing with the salt. We're gonna go around, we're gonna do all the sides. And again, this is why you use your truffle mix, because your truffle mix allows you to get your seasonings to stick to your meat, which is awesome. And then we're gonna let that penetrate. We'll let that sit there for a second. And then the last thing I'm gonna use is this roasted garlic and herbs mix that McCormick makes. It's just kind of nice. You only need a little bit of this because again, we're just trying to give it the kind of the flavor. I'm doing this all on the cutting board just because it's easy to wipe off. And then when you do that, once you do that, you're gonna have extra mix on your board. You just flip your meat over. You wanna just kind of mop all that nice herbs. I'm gonna mop that up. And then that's it. That's how you season your meat. I'll drop some pictures in here of the meat done, just so you can see what it looks like. The taste is gonna be good because we're gonna sear it. And it doesn't matter how, the reason I'm not showing you the cooking part is I want you to cook however you want. You can cook it on the grill, you can pan sear it, you can cook it on a cast iron skillet, you can cook it in the oven, but now your meat is properly seasoned and it's ready to go. So you don't have to let it sit. I mean, you could let it sit for an hour or two, but you can actually go straight to cooking and you're gonna have wonderful, wonderful, wonderful meat. So that's it, and this is how it looks. Nice prime and choice cut meat, seasoned properly, easy. It's not something that takes a lot of practice doing. I mean, it does take practice to get the seasoning quite right, you know, like knowing to use coarse kosher salt versus using like your regular kind of iodized salt. It just makes it work better at the end when you're cooking. Anyway, it's your boy GB Reviews. Please hit the like button for the algorithm. Please subscribe to my channel. Please leave comments below if you have a different way of seasoning meat, or if you like the way I season the meat, or if you have comments about how you think I should do a different type of seasoning. And thank you for rocking with me. Anyway, it's your boy GB Reviews. Subscribe and like below. Peace.
Subscribe right below.